I'm fully prepared with everything I need for the Jay-Z documentary. The moment he sent that legal letter, I knew I had to let the world see who he really is. He and Diddy are cut from the same cloth. He just hides his arrogance and control behind a cleaner image. Our feud has lasted 20 years, and I know better than anyone what he's done in the shadows. I even suspect that so-called funeral bouquet wasn't Diddy's idea at all, but Jay-Z acting on his behalf. Back when Nicki Minaj posted that video of him wearing a pink wig, all I did was repost it, and he got so nervous he had his lawyers threaten me. In 2015, Nicki worked her ass off helping him build his platform, and he allegedly pocketed her $7.9 million in royalties. And then there's his fingerprints all over key incidents through the years, whether it's the elevator footage or the guest list at Diddy's parties. He was involved, clearly, but somehow he always walks away untouched. That's what he's best at, pulling strings behind the scenes while pretending to be spotless in public. And now that a corner of the darkness has been ripped open, I'm not stopping. Everything my team and I are doing isn't about attacking anyone. It's about making sure the truth can't be buried by him ever again.
He ain't answering the phone?
He ain't answering the motherfucking phone.
Yeah, it's like this, like
we had a black billionaire's lunch.
Black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch. Like,
I hate you, man.
And we here together, and we're gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Yo, I feel like I'm normal again. Get me out of here.
Jay-Z is now under growing public attention as reports claim that private messages between him and Diddy are being discussed openly, sparking strong reactions online. This development has placed Jay-Z back in the spotlight, bringing renewed focus to his past connection with Diddy and old controversies many thought were long behind him. As these claims continue to spread, familiar discussions are resurfacing and public interest is rising fast. The situation is quickly becoming a critical moment, one that could seriously challenge Jay-Z's public image and long-standing influence.
Sean Carter aided and abetted or was directly involved. It's about to get real tense, and there's a lot of girls and boys who are still...
In past interviews, 50 Cent explained that he made a clear choice to stay out of Diddy's close circle. He said some invitations and settings didn't feel right to him, which led him to set firm boundaries early on. That decision, he believes, is why he can speak openly today without holding back. When later claims became public, 50 Cent stated that he found out the same way most people did, through news reports. While the accusations were serious, he said they didn't catch him off guard, confirming that his long-standing choice to keep his distance was the right one.
Jaguar Wright explained that Jay-Z is worse than Diddy. She explained how Jay-Z has done worse things than what Diddy did to Cassie to other females. And she said that she has the scars to prove it. She alleged that at one time Jay-Z attacked her and got it on film like Diddy did. And she alleged that this is why Jay-Z is totally pulling away from Diddy and you don't see him around. And it's been alleged for quite a while that Jay-Z is pulling away from Diddy because he doesn't want himself caught in the crossfire. I mean, you even have 50 Cent at this point talking about how Jay-Z is in hiding while this whole Diddy thing blows over. And you even have these accusations of Jay-Z being responsible for what happened to Cassie White. So I'm going to go ahead and roll you guys this clip of everything that Jag had to say about Jay-Z being worse than Diddy. And you guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
Sean Carter is just as bad as the diddler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it. You want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. That Cassie shit, that's nothing. I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me and he's got it on tape. Just like Diddy. And they're going to be crazy. It's going to be the women that get them in the end.
As the inquiry expanded, more attention began to land on Jay-Z, with critics pointing to his lack of public response as events involving Diddy continued to develop. His quiet approach only increased curiosity, leading many to wonder if his team was quietly preparing for possible damage to his image and trying to control the story behind the scenes. Even without any official action, there was a growing sense that the effects were already taking hold. Social media added fuel to the situation, spreading rumors, amplifying assumptions, and turning uncertainty into a rapid wave that made the potential fallout feel immediate and hard to avoid.
What Jay-Z's accuser is saying, that even though she dropped the lawsuit, she still stands by what she says, and she only dropped it because of harassment and the fact that she's terrified of Jay-Z. She says that Jay-Z is allegedly bullying her into saying that her accusations were false. In fact, in new legal documents, she is claiming that she was recently approached outside of her home and cornered by two people who told her they were investigators working for one of Jay-Z's lawyers. She claims they tried to get her to sign an affidavit stating that her art claims against Jay-Z were false, but she refused. Jane Doe also claims the alleged investigators asked her if her attorney, Tony Busby, sought her out as a client and offered her money to pursue false claims against Jay-Z, two allegations she says she denied. He says this alleged confrontation left her intimidated and terrified, wondering how they found her when her identity had remained anonymous in media reports and legal proceedings. He also claims that her parents were approached by two investigators asking similar questions about Busby and her R story. In the new documents, she reveals she decided to drop the claim because she was frightened by the reaction from Jay-Z and his supporters. She says she feared she would be publicly outed and subjected to public.
Industry insiders have warned that even a single serious investigation could create ripple effects far beyond Diddy himself, potentially affecting anyone seen as closely connected to him. This is why many believe 50 Cent's documentary holds real weight. Rather than focusing on one individual, it takes a wider look at how power operates behind the scenes, who held influence, who may have known what, and how responsibility can grow once close attention begins. Some observers have also questioned how Diddy avoided deeper trouble for so long, pointing to strong connections and carefully managed public messaging as rumors continued to circulate. As talk increased, reports began to surface, suggesting that Diddy may be communicating with authorities in an effort to protect his position. According to unconfirmed claims, this could include sharing details about others within his circle, a possibility that has sent fresh concern throughout the industry.
But the only thing I'm interested in him talking about is everything he knows about Kathy Coriana White. See, I know you know what happened to Corey. Diddy, I know that. You and Jay-Z. Down in Vegas at Tao with Claudia. Why don't you just talk about Kathy? That might help. That might help a lot. Kathy Coriana White, Jay-Z's pregnant mistress, who died 24 hours after she announced that she was going public with their relationship and the baby. While he was married to Beyonce. Was it an aneurysm, Diddy? Or are you the one who paid the same coroner that you...
With the documentary now officially out, it's clear this story isn't staying in the past. It's actively shaping what comes next. Each new detail brings more attention to those who stayed silent, and Jay-Z is being drawn deeper into the discussion. The focus feels heavier because his history with Diddy goes back many years, making claims of little or no connection harder for critics to believe. Tensions increased when Gene Deal publicly challenged statements from Jay-Z's legal team that downplayed the relationship, saying those claims didn't line up with what many people in the industry had seen over time. As more voices speak up and past events are re-examined, the pressure keeps building, turning once overlooked ties into open questions that won't easily fade away.
It was Diddy and Jay-Z.
They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it, but I don't know what kind of half a homo that is, and you trying to say that you're not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So I guess that's a certain type of closeness.
I ain't know anything about that, man. I ain't know about, Jay touching his, ass. I got to go see the video. I ain't hear about that.
Come on, man. Everybody's seen that. 50 even pointed it out. Excuse me. When they was in ATL on stage. Remember when 50 bum rushed the stage with them?
Yeah, I think I recall that.
When Puff came on stage, first thing he did was pat Jay-Z on that. But I forgot. That's your favorite rapper.
Hey, him and Pac is 1A, 1B. But what's your issue with Jay, man? I didn't know you had an issue with him.
I'm never a fan of somebody that I was...
According to Gene, the ease and familiarity between Jay-Z and Diddy spoke louder than any statement ever could, pointing to a relationship he believes was genuinely close. He often refers to a moment at a show in Atlanta, where Diddy brought Jay-Z on stage. The natural chemistry between them was clear and didn't go unnoticed by fans. That clip later gained fresh attention after 50 Cent highlighted it, keeping it in circulation online and sparking questions about whether his remarks were driven by personal issues. Gene rejected that idea, saying it had nothing to do with favoritism or grudges. He recalled an earlier disagreement where tensions briefly surfaced, only for Jay-Z to seemingly move past it without concern. Gene described this as typical behavior among people at the highest levels, those who navigate high-pressure situations, experience conflict, and then continue forward unaffected, operating in a world far removed from everyday life.
These guys are, man, they'll cause situations and cause problems, and then they'll forget what they done because they on a whole nother atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit that he did, you got to understand, like now he'll say that they're kids because he's raising kids of his own. You understand? But how would you like it that if Blue Ivory, 15, 16 years old, 17, 18 years old, dating a nigga in his early 30s? You're not going to go for that. No matter what she came through in Hollywood. But you got to understand, guys who was around there, we didn't know Jay-Z them ages. We didn't know these cats' age. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't having no beards and nothing like that. They was wearing low cuts. You understand? Clean face. I would have never believed when Jay was coming around the block, scooping up the young girls and stuff like that he was 30 years old. You know, if they 17, 18, 16 years old and they 22, you thinking they 22, 23, something like that, 24 years old? They mama and them need to check them. They daddy and them need to check them. But that's not that far off. But for somebody to be 30 years old in their 30s and they dealing with kids 16 years old, 17, 18 years, now that's a problem. That's an issue. And now he see that because he's raising kids. And he got a young daughter. I think he got another daughter that he didn't claim and now he claiming them. These cats was doing a whole lot of stuff that people in the industry won't speak on. And then now that you're speaking on it and it's becoming where is that you can get on YouTube and you could talk about this shit and say what you seen or say what you heard, you understand, or what you know. Some people look at it being a problem. But these cats ain't street cats.
Dame Dash, who was once considered Jay-Z's closest business partner, recently spoke about the serious claims connected to him. He said what stood out most wasn't just the accusations themselves, but the overwhelming public reaction that followed. Dame explained that in all his years, he had never seen Jay-Z face this kind of attention. For decades, Jay-Z's influence made him seem almost beyond criticism, especially in major media spaces. According to Dame, that image now appears to be changing. He suggested that long-standing support around Jay-Z is starting to weaken, placing him under a level of public examination rarely directed at someone of his status. To Dame, this moment serves as a clear reminder that no matter how powerful or influential a person may be, intense public focus can still reach them when the spotlight grows stronger.
Odd to see him in that, getting looked at in that way by white people, like Jay does, yeah, like I hope that shit didn't happen, but I'm like, damn, they turned the world real, like people on a certain level have been fucking with him a certain way where he couldn't do no wrong for like 25 years straight. This is the first time he's not getting a pass with white media, like he can control black media because a lot of them either work or do business with him, but like, Green Champs can't get him out of this one, and neither can Charlemagne, because those are the guys that hold him down no matter what he does anyway. So he got to get to People Magazine and Entertainment Tonight right now because they on his head. But the question is why? Like why now? Because for me, I'd be like, yo, that's so ridiculous. Yo, take that to trial. You're not gonna win. Let's get a deposition or something. So I don't know why they on his head so much, pause. But I never seen him, under this, I never seen him in this position to have to explain himself. Pause.
How you feel about the statement he came out with?
I mean, I didn't hear him say anything. I heard a piece of, like I said, I'm doing an interview, so I talk. I thought it was long. For a statement, I thought it was long, pause. But, I think right now, his silence is the worst thing for him. If he is innocent, he needs to let people ask him questions, and he needs to be able to say his side of the story.
What stood out most to Dame was seeing Jay-Z in a role the public rarely sees. Careful, defensive, and under ongoing pressure. For most of his career, Jay-Z has avoided having to explain himself in public, which makes the current level of attention especially striking. This shift has sparked even more discussion about why 50 Cent seems so intent on calling out Jay-Z over his connection to Diddy, suggesting that issue alone doesn't fully explain the tension. Tony Yayo offered more background, saying the strain between 50 and Jay-Z goes back many years and was shaped by competition and broken trust. Rivalries have always been part of hip-hop, where clashes happen but growth is still possible. Yayo pointed to a recent moment when 50 appeared on stage with Dr. Dre and Cameron as a sign that some old conflicts can be left behind. Cameron has also shared the view that Jay-Z prioritizes business over culture, a point Yayo agreed with. He noted that Jay-Z is often seen at major corporate events, but is less present at hip-hop moments that matter deeply to artists like 50. That contrast continues to raise questions about values, alignment, and where true loyalty stands.
Like I don't think I would have said that he didn't know Puff at all or wasn't his friend. I thought that was a little extreme. I thought that was the wrong choice of words. I think that's going to trigger a lot of backlash. But the thing is, I never seen him get backlash at all. So that's what I'm saying. Now he getting backlash. Like when did you know Jay-Z to be on his heels other than when he got beat up in the elevator? But that was nothing. But I've never seen him under the fire ever. Not in a long time. Not like, I've never seen people on his head like that, Paul. Ever.
Yeah, this might be my first time seeing people come at him like this.
Like I said, I didn't hear him say anything. Like, I'm not some white man speaking for another black man. Doesn't add up. It just doesn't work like that. Like, he doesn't know what to say on Jay's behalf. Jay would have to say that. So if he instructed him to say that, like, you don't even know if Jay told him to say that. He could have got off the stage and they was like, why'd you say that? He was like, I had to. You know, like, he probably said it because homeboy wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? So who knows? Like, I didn't hear him say anything. I haven't heard Jay say a word yet. Have you?
Nah, I haven't heard him say anything.
There it is. So y'all going by a piece of paper with words? Don't get caught up in that. I have not heard him say one thing yet. You know? Until I see him speak, he hasn't spoke to me. That's why I said I don't think he did not say that. His lawyer said it. So what else is a lawyer gonna say?
Yayo highlighted a key difference between Jay-Z and 50 Cent that he believes defines their relationship: closeness versus distance. He explained that while Jay-Z works at the very top levels of influence, he keeps a noticeable separation from others. In contrast, 50 Cent, even with similar reach and success, stays visible, connected, and loyal to the people who supported him early on. Yayo stressed that success shouldn't erase where someone came from, a value he feels 50 continues to honor. One moment that stayed with him involved the Super Bowl halftime show, where reports suggested Jay-Z was hesitant about including 50 Cent at first. According to those accounts, the situation only changed after Eminem made it clear he wouldn't take part unless 50 was included. To Yayo, that moment went beyond scheduling or image. It felt personal, revealing long-standing tension and quiet competition that still influenced the complex relationship between two of hip-hop's most powerful figures.
There's one part where 50 was talking, and he was saying, yeah, when Yayo was locked up, every G-Unit show, we actually put aside the money.
Bro, I told
for him, and he had like a... He's like, Yayo had like $1 million.
Right. I just told you when I came out of my building, I see the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
There was no way I was getting shot there. And this is what I kind of tell you is like, when we was talking about stacks with the Porsche, 50's not going to let you say, get the Porsche. He going to say, let's get him out the hood first. You know, if the money's there, but the money has to be there for you to live like that. The money's there. 50 didn't have to do that. Rest in peace to Hervé from Interscope, because he always said to me, man, 50 do more for you than any artist, than anybody does for their artists, more than Jay-Z.
Over time, reports indicate that the strong bond between Jay-Z and Diddy began to weaken, with insiders noting rising doubts and questions about where loyalties might lie if situations turned unfavorable. As the pressure grew, speculation emerged about behind-the-scenes moves, including public claims from Jaguar Wright suggesting Jay-Z may have influenced Diddy's challenges, allegations that remain unproven and widely debated. Regardless of their accuracy, the situation underscores how quickly relationships can shift at the top levels of influence, where alliances are often fragile, loyalty is uncertain, and power dynamics can change in an instant.
Statement recently, he said that Jay-Z loves money more than hip-hop, and he pointed out that Jay-Z performed at Tom Brady's Hall of Fame ceremony, but he didn't perform in any Hip-Hop 50 events.
I mean, Jay-Z's on a whole nother level. Like, I mean, you know, true. He's like, but you know what I like about 50? 50's on a whole nother level, but he's still approachable. You still get to meet the people and you know, Jay got to remember the people that made him. You know, I'm not saying I don't got respect. I respect Jay-Z, 50, used to respect, you know, Diddy, but all that crazy shit going on. But, you know, I always respected him because I looked at, for New York, those were like the guys. You know what I'm saying? The guys with the most money and the most influence. So with Jay is like, when the last time you haven't seen Jay. So I think people are just going to say that. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I mean, Jay, you know, you got to remember, he didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl. That was crazy. I'm like,
wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl?
You didn't know that? Yeah, he didn't want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some hater shit. Yeah,
I remember Eminem was like, I'm not going to do it unless 50 does it. I heard that.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that Jay was trying to stop it.
I don't think Jay. I don't know. 50 never told me that, but I don't think Jay wanted him there. I don't know.
Because of what, some of the.
I mean, you know, it's competition. You got to think. 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember, I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That was what, 9? What was that? 9?
But after that, they did a song together. Remember the whole.
Of course, but 50 was always competition for niggas. Then remember Jay said, yo, 50's coming. He told Siegel and them, and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like, he's on a whole nother level. You got to remember, he came after niggas. He came after Jay and Rockefeller. G-Unit came, and people might shit on G-Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent, nobody had.
Roger Bonds, Diddy's former head of security, offered a perspective that added another layer to the story. He said that while he saw Jay-Z and Diddy interact, he never considered their relationship to be truly close. From his view, Diddy seemed to think their bond was stronger than it actually was, highlighting a gap between perception and reality. It's a reminder that at the highest levels, public interactions and assumed alliances can create the appearance of connection, even when the reality behind the scenes is very different.
He says to people, he goes into boardrooms and says to people, which I will never say, is he says, it's important for me to be a billionaire, because Black people need to be billionaires. And why does specifically he, at that time, I've had this conversation with white money people when they go, it's important that Jay-Z becomes a billionaire. And I go, why? And they said, because he wants to open up a casino. He wants to open up this. He should have an alcoholic brand. He needs to have a casino. He needs to have this. And you're like, why the fuck does anybody need a casino? Like another fucking casino
money
in this world.
And it makes it very possible for people to launder money all day.
Yeah. So like, why, even the fact that you want to become so powerful, then you're not saying because he needs to build schools for Black people in Black neighborhoods. It's because he wanted to build casinos for Black people.
For them to keep wasting their money, and then for him to keep giving them overpriced merchandise. It's a rat trap.
Yeah.
All of it is. The sad part is that hip hop has now turned itself over to this greed machine and doesn't realize it's time to.
People close to Diddy often observed that he consistently went out of his way to support Jay-Z, showing visible loyalty that, in their eyes, was seldom reciprocated. This pattern pointed to a clear imbalance in their relationship, showing that at the top levels, loyalty can sometimes run in just one direction. It revealed a behind-the-scenes reality that stood in sharp contrast to the polished image presented to the public.
Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D. Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D. Haven.
Yeah, we need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the.
From his perspective, Jay-Z and Diddy were never as close as many assumed. They operated in the same elite circles and shared opportunities and influence, but true loyalty between them was never fully there. Over time, those cracks became impossible to overlook.